Welcome back to the Game to Love podcast, and today we have the extremely special guest, number 111 in the world. We have the famous Denis Kudla.
Was a very, very impressive showing. Magnificent shot.
Good to have you on, Dennis. How has life been in quarantine for you since this hiatus has started?
Yeah, life in quarantine has been interesting. Obviously, when it all began, it was a shock to everyone. I remember hearing it. I was actually on a golf course, and I was hearing rumors about it, and I just said, there's no way. If Australia were going to play through those fires, we're playing through this. Because at the time, there was only like maybe 6 cases and something in Palm Springs. So when it all canceled, it was weird. The mental state of mind was a little bit, I tried not to panic, but it kind of was because of the uncertainty. Yeah. But honestly, I've enjoyed this time. I've never been at home this long since I was probably 12 years old. So it's nuts. I love it. Obviously, it sucks what's happening in the world with everything, but the opportunity to be at home. I just got a puppy, hang time with my girlfriend, my family, create a routine at home, actually enjoy the apartment I pay for. It's nice. I've actually enjoyed it. I can't believe it's already May 7th, or May 8th.
It's nuts, man. The time's just flying by. It's like, where's the year gone already?
Flying by. So I'm actually glad that if it's flying, I get to enjoy home for a little bit. I know post-career it's probably going to be like, man, I wish I'm back on the road. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying it.
No, that's good. Like, I've seen on your Twitter, you've been doing a lot of new things, probably what you don't have time to do usually. So you've been doing a bit of cooking, a few little challenges, a lot of players. I saw the wine bottle one was one of the most impressive ones, for sure.
Yeah, I was just winging it. I mean, I know I was supposed to do it like 4 days earlier, and I just kept like prolonging it. I was like, oh man, I need to do this. I need to figure something out. I haven't planned anything. So I was like, okay, I'm just looking around. Like, let's try a wine bottle. Let's see. And I was like, it's like semi-difficult. It's actually not as easy as I thought it was. And I was like, okay, let's see. And maybe I can give a little shout out. I think the toughest part was trying to remember my lines and like focus on actually like bouncing the ball.
So you're confirming now that wasn't your first take?
That was my second take.
Oh, well done. Oh, nice.
It's impressive.
The first one I had, the balls were staying up. I was fine, but I messed up my line. And I was like, no, I can't post that. So then second time I got it down. So that was good. And then give a shout out to wine bottle, see if anything happened, but nothing happened. I actually still have that exact bottle. I haven't even drank it yet.
Yeah, I saw that there was a lot of items on shelves and stuff. You don't want that ball going all over the place, otherwise you could have some broken bits and pieces.
No. we stocked up for sure. We wanted to make sure if we didn't have we had a shortage in food, we were not going to have a shortage in alcohol. So
we think we've all done that. We're all guilty of that.
We have funded our local liquor stores very nicely.
Ah, that's very generous.
And how about the cooking? How's the cooking going? Getting better?
Good. Yeah, really good. I mean, I've always loved food. I've always wanted to be a good cook, but I've never had the time to really learn. And I've watched all these like videos and read a couple books. Like Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay are like two chefs I love. So I was learning stuff, but you don't have the time to work on techniques or anything. And then you leave for a month, you come back, you forget. So now I'm cooking all the time. It's been
That's
awesome.
cool.
I love it. Like in the beginning it was all right. It was good. And now I get into a point where it's just like learning the components of food, that it's not about like knowing the recipes. It's all about just understanding how certain foods work with each other, and then you can just wing it. And that's where like the creativity comes in. And now,
Yeah, that's the best chef. That's what I say as well. Like, just sometimes you feel like it needs a bit of that. You just put it all in.
Yeah,
hope for the
now I
best.
understand. I understand how this works.
What would you say? I'd say has been your signature dish that you've created so far.
Ooh, signature dish. I mean, we literally have bought a new cookbook and been trying new recipes left and right, trying not to repeat the same thing. But I would say the best thing I've done, I'm most proud of, is I had a frozen chicken that I thought was going to taste terrible. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it taste good. And I was able to marinate it with a bunch of things. I've been messing around with meats, with soy sauce, Worcester sauce, and then like cumin, and I use a lot of like red chili pepper and chili flakes, and some rosemary thyme, and got it in the cast iron skillet.
You're getting me hungry.
2 or 3 hours, yeah. So I got it going.
It's lunchtime here in the UK. Listen to this.
I was shocked. I was shocked how I put it together. And you would have thought it was fresh chicken. And like my girlfriend, she doesn't even like chicken. And she was like, wow, I actually like this. So that was great.
So is this going to be the venture maybe after tennis, whenever that is in many years' time? You might have your own cooking show on TV or YouTube.
Maybe his own restaurant.
I've actually always wanted to own a restaurant. But I said I would only own a restaurant if I knew I had enough money to lose and be okay. Because I know how tough it is.
Especially now.
I wouldn't want to go in there knowing that this is like do or die for me. I don't know if that pressure is what I want. I mean, I want pressure, but not that pressure. Because obviously, percentage of successful restaurants, like 5% or something that lasts past 5 years or something, 5 or 7 years. So I'm not trying to do something just for 5 or 7 years if I were to own a restaurant business.
So on to the actual tennis itself. Let's talk some tennis now. So what have you been? Have you been doing much training, or have you been playing any tennis?
I have not hit a ball in about 5 weeks. I've played mini tennis. Actually, hit on the wall like 2 days ago.
Okay.
And my hands are getting too soft. As one of my friends said, I have piano hands now. A little too soft. I've lost my calluses and everything, so I'm a little worried about when I return what the blisters are going to look like.
Your only hope is a lot of other players should be in the same boat. So
yeah, exactly. We're all going to be just talking to the ATP physios, just sending us buckets of tape. Like, please, I tape for my fingers. I think I can play. We're all going to be excited to play. Everyone's going to go out like 4 hours on the first day, and everyone's hands are going to be ripped up. I bet you there are going to be pictures on Instagram of everyone's like first day blisters and hands.
For sure,
they're all going to be ripped up. I promise you.
Nasty.
But I've been training actually. I've been stepping on the scale like 3 or 4 times a day after every meal to make sure I'm not fat. So,
good idea.
Yeah, I put on weight pretty good. I'm only like 2 or 3 pounds over at a time. So once I get over 180 pounds, I don't know, kilos, I'm like I think I'm like 79 or 80. So if I get over, like if I hit to like 81 or 82, it's a hard day. I need to work on. So it's once a day in the morning, and then now we got a bike, and where I'm living right now, we're not too strict. We can work out. We're allowed to take bike rides and run. So I do that in the afternoon and just try to be as outside as much as possible.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that you're looking after your body and stuff. So that's always good.
Yeah.
I feel like for you personally, like we've been looking at like some of your most recent results and stuff. Like this whole Corona thing, obviously it's not ideal. Everyone's been affected massively, but for you, like using some quite good form, you beat some good players, and I was really fancying to see where you would have gone this year. Like it was interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my career has kind of been the story of up and down. I've had a great year and then an average year, a great year, then an average year. So this was on par to be another great year. And that's my dog.
It's the first dog on the podcast.
yeah. Always eating all the flowers. Come on, Woody. So yeah, I mean, I was playing well. I was in great form. I had an interesting year last year. which I overplayed. I did well in the slams, but I didn't do well anywhere else. And somehow hovered around 100. I thought I was going to drop actually a lot more. And had a terrible end of the year. I lost to guys who were 200-300 spots below me. That not that they're not great, but I feel like I was favored. I should have probably won those matches, and I just mentally didn't want to play. So I went into that off season, and I completely put everything into my fitness, into my mental game. Really dedicated. That's usually the recipe for success in tennis, and I was able to start my year off awesome. I was playing great. I didn't do well in Australia, which kind of bothered me a little bit, but I was doing well everywhere else. I thought I could have won 3 or 4 challengers. I told myself I was going to lose this year. Every single guy is going to have to play unbelievable against me, and I feel like I achieved that. I thought all the matches I lost were actually 7-5 in the third, 7-6 in the third,
Very
6
good.
and 6.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Someone had to play really well to beat me. I haven't lost like 2-2 at all.
No.
So I was good, and I think this quarantine almost hurts the guys who are playing well because of how tough it is to gain momentum and confidence in the sport, and how easy it is to
Definitely
kind of not care, not play well. You can lose it in a drop of a ball or whatever. But
especially if you manage to get that mental side of your game back again, that's
exactly.
like something we were sort of speaking to. Obviously, spoke to Noah Rubin, and he was obviously he's a lot about mental health and all the problems in tennis with it. And then we spoke with Ilya Marchenko, and he was saying sort of as he got into the latter stages of his career now, he's sort of it doesn't affect him as badly as it used to. He's sort of more relaxed. He doesn't have the stress levels.
He can accept a loss much better than what he used to. Like before, a loss sort of put him in like a spiraling sort of impact where the next game it can affect his match. But he was sort of looking at it in a way where he can learn more from a loss and in a positive sort of energy.
I think the mental side of the game, everyone's anxiety comes from different places, and they deal with it better. I think why older guys do better with it is because of experience. Maybe sometimes anxiety comes from the pressure of not having enough money and not doing this, not doing that. And if you've had a pretty good career, you've done it, and also coming from his background, I know it comes from Ukraine. Like actually, I'm from there. I was born there.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with what a childhood could be there. So I mean, maybe he's a little bit more at peace with his career and how everything going, and then maybe younger guys maybe have that with I'm not sure what the future holds for me. Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? I have friends that could be working in these jobs. Maybe I should have done that. And I'm just saying 2 examples. There could be millions of examples, but I think the mental health part of it, you need to be aware of it in your own situation. I think staying present is the biggest thing. I'm actually a big writer. I do a lot of kind of journaling every morning to get my head in the right place. I find that it allows me to give myself my own promise, and it doesn't keep you thinking of what's in the future, what's going to happen. You just can't control it. I mean, controlling what you can control is what I preach all the time, and that's all you can do.
No, that's really cool. But you're using a time like this to be creative and do things you actually really enjoy. So I think a lot of people watching this can sort of look upon it and think, you know what, I actually really enjoy doing something like that. I'm going to go do it, because it will definitely help you in not just what you're doing, but in other things as well, in whole life. So
yeah, I mean, the tough situation is like, I was joking around that this is a great time to learn something, maybe outside of tennis. And if you're reading any of those self-help books, inspiration books, they're like, go out there and just do it, get what you want. But it's like, you literally can't go out and do it because everything's closed.
Go online and do it.
So it's very selective of what you can do right now, but you can prepare. Like, this is the perfect time to study on something, really get all your facts straight if you have other passions. Or in tennis, I mean, for me, I'm actually watching tennis and trying to keep my mind sharp. I'm trying to remember all the plays and things that I recognize, and patterns, match behavior, match pace, kind of dictating the flow of the game. So I'm trying to remember that by watching. I'm actually looking forward to watching the UTR event today in a couple hours. I'm excited to see what shape these guys are in. More the American guys than I know Hurkacz, because I trained with him in Saddlebrook. in Tampa, and I know he's a beast, so he's probably in like peak shape right now. So I'm excited to see how he maybe takes on Tommy Paul, who I heard like a couple weeks ago. He said in his interview that he was thick for real, which probably meant that he was pretty overweight. So it's going to be an interesting combination.
Maybe slower around the court.
Yeah, maybe be going for winners a little bit earlier than you need to do.
That's it. Yeah, if we could rewind a little bit of the conversation. I know you're touching on your career last year, 2019. Just we sort of skimmed over it, but yeah, I thought we'd just review a couple of those matches because you just had a great US Open there, and third round, you beat Tipsarevic in the first round, and you were set down, showed the mental resolve to come back from a set down and beat him, and then Dusan Lajovic, which is top 30. Yeah. I think he was 26 or something.
I think he was 20 something. Yeah,
I think he was 27 seed.
And beat him in 4 sets as well. That's incredible. Incredible scalp, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was awesome. I was having a pretty up and down summer leading into it. Had some good results, had some bad results. I was practicing really well, but I really wasn't translating it into matches. So I was pretty nervous going into the US Open. I was practicing unbelievable. I was beating everybody in practice sets. I was like, okay, don't overthink this. Like, it's almost like the worst thing ever when you beat everybody in practice. Like, put this pressure on yourself. Like, gosh. And so I saw Tipsarevic. I knew it was his last slam. He was definitely not the same that he was when he was top 10. But so I was actually really happy with that draw. I was like, okay, this is an awesome opportunity. And I have Lajovic as a seed potential. I was not trying to look too far ahead. I was like, okay, there's an opportunity here to maybe make a third round again. I haven't made one in 4 or 5 years. And
Wimbledon, right? Wimbledon, you got the fourth round.
Yeah, Wimbledon. Yeah. I had a couple opportunities in Australia to make third round, even Wimbledon. So I was really itching for a third round appearance. I was kind of tired of just being a first, second round loser all the time. So Tipsarevic is obviously first match of a slam. You're always pretty nervous. Started off slow. I remember I played a terrible service game. Just couldn't break back. Just couldn't find the rhythm of things. Second set. What was the second? Second set I thought was pretty handily as well. I think it was up a break. The first 2 sets were, I think, 6-3 and 3-6, right? Or
I believe like so, yeah.
One break each. I'm pretty sure. I remember the third set was huge. I was down a break. He served for it. And I was like, gosh, I do not want to be playing 5 sets right now.
6-1 in the second set. You've sold yourself short.
Yeah. I'm blending matches.
I can imagine. It's so easy to do.
Forgive me. I was actually watching those highlights like last week, so I should have remembered. Okay, now I do remember. Remind me of the score. It was 3-6, was 6-1, 7-6, 6-1 again.
That's it. 6-1 again. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah. Third set that's when I was down a break. I was like, man, I played a bad game. I needed to get it back. He was serving for it. He was serving well, and I just couldn't get a look on his return games. And then I played an awesome game to break. Momentum shifted. Breaker was so tight. We were both missing everything. Like, who wants to give it away?
Yeah.
Who wants to give it away? And then I was actually so tight when he doubled at 5-6. I had a couple good points. I mean, it looks like we were playing smooth, but my hands were just like gripping that racket. And I was so happy to get that double from him. And then I think that really relaxed me.
Yeah.
So I need to start off this 4 set not being down a break. And he, I think, had blisters on his feet and just stopped moving. And I was like, oh, okay, it's one of those guys. It's one of those like situations. I'm not thinking, but it was like, okay, don't blow this. Like, don't give him like unnecessary wins.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, in that sort of situation, like if you lose the first set or like against Lajovic in the next round, you were 2 sets up and then lost 6-0 in the third set. Like, there's obviously a mental sort of side you got to overcome. Because you're in the US Open, does the crowd really pump you up and get you up for the next set, or?
They do pump you up, but the thing is,
you've also got the pressure of that as well. It makes it harder as well. I must admit.
It does. It can make you tight. So I feed off of it, but then sometimes your adrenaline gets too high. And in tennis, if your adrenaline's too high, you might not be thinking clearly. You have to give them a reason to pump you up. The thing is, they can do everything possible, but if you're not winning points or like winning a big moment or getting to that big moment, they can scream all they want. It almost pisses you off if you're not delivering because you're like, gosh, they're like, come on, you can do it. We want to cheer for you. We want to cheer for you. I'm just like, I know, I'm trying. So it can be tough sometimes, but in the U.S. Open, it's awesome. Sometimes it can be a little bit tough. Like one of my worst tournaments is actually my hometown tournament in D.C. I'm awful here. But sometimes the pressure of family and friends and just wanting to impress them can be tough. But the U.S. Open, luckily, I have not had that issue. That was good. And then, the Lajovic match, that was crazy. I was starting off great. We've played a couple times. I've beaten him on grass. He's beaten the crap out of me at the French Open and on another clay court event. So we knew we both could beat each other. So it was an opportunity of a lifetime to play, not having to play like a top 10 seed second round. Yeah. And started off great. We had some epic points. He seemed like a step slow. He was just a little off. It was early. We were first on. We got washed out the day before. So like the energy was weird at the Open. This is great for me. I thought 5-5, and then something happened in the third set. I just played terrible, and then it just went so fast. I lost it 6-0. I was like, okay, I need to like regroup. I think I was thinking too much about, oh man, I'm up 2 sets to love. Don't mess this up.
Because your serve was banging so much in the first 2 sets. It just seemed so strange that it just suddenly just dropped off your service game in that set.
I think what happened was I actually did not feel good from the baseline. The whole match, I was pushing. I didn't think I knew where the ball was going to land, so I was just kind of swinging with my eyes closed and just hoping for the best. But my serve was there. So when I got broken one game, I didn't feel like I could break, and then just kind of it affected my serve. And then if I lost my serve, I didn't have anything else to rely on, just my legs. But I just was so foggy in my head that I didn't use it. And then the third set, once I got an early break, stayed on it, was serving better. It was great. 5-3, 40 love. I was like, okay, don't choke. That was like the worst thing I could think of. I saw the opportunity. I actually was down break point in that game, and we started playing some epic points. I was somehow saving them. At match point, I was so tight. I'm grunting so loud. My heart rate was through the roof. Like I could not hit a ball towards the line to save my life. I was so tight. And I ended up going for a drop shot because I'm like, I can't hit a winner right now because I'm holding the racket so tight. So I'm going to go for a drop shot. And if it's good, I'm going to get a chance to pass or something. So we'll see. And then luckily it was a great dropper. I had an opportunity. He hit this one ball, like hits half volley that was literally popped up like in front of the net. I'm running forward on the forehand, and he's just like back turn, just running for dear life. I was like, oh my God, all I have to do is just hit it over there, cross court, and I win this. Don't mess this up. And I actually shanked it. I actually shanked it a little bit, but I got it. He even touched it. So tight. It was just like a sigh of relief. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's incredible.
I can only imagine the pressure that's going on in your mind in those sort of points.
Yeah, I mean, I watched these matches. I'm like, man, people really don't see like the real raw emotion that's inside. Like they see it at the end when I was like, oh, I was like breathing heavily and just sigh of relief. But it's crazy what's going through your mind. The thoughts you can think of in 1 second is nuts.
No, I can imagine because just playing against me, like when I play against my dad, like for me, that's just like a big rivalry. I feel like I need to win that match. And like when I come to like big moments, like break points, or if I'm closing out a set, my serve is off, everything. I just seem to like, it's just me mentally. It's just so hard. So when you're on the big stage, like you're talking about now, I just don't even know how you guys do it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you get used to it. You have to get used to it. I mean, everyone's first time, only the top guys are the guys that just kind of flow into
like
it so naturally. Yeah, they want that stage. They just live for it. A lot of other people need to get used to it, and they need experience before they can excel at that stage whatsoever. I mean, it's like playing Djokovic. Like I thought I played him so much better the second time than I did the first time. I mean, Wimbledon center court I don't think I could have started any worse.
But in the US Open, in that next round, you played so well against him as well. He just gets everything back. How does that feel when you're playing against him and that's just happening? You just must be like, what do you have to do?
I mean, luckily I got a second chance. And so I could learn from my mistakes in Wimbledon. Could deal with the pressure. I mean, going out there in Ash Stadium at night, it was always a dream of mine. So adrenaline was through the roof. I mean, it's like a nightclub in there when you're walking out. It's so loud and awesome. I'm like, wow, like, can I get a beer? Like, no, but I was ready for it. I tried to make it very physical. I was like, okay, don't give him like these first couple games like you did at Wimbledon. Let's battle. Let's see. I mean, if I die in 30 minutes out here, like I die in 30 minutes, let's give it a go. And we competed hard, I thought, until about 3-2. We had a lot of good rallies to start that match. And yeah, he was so quick. I mean,
I noticed the way that you were able to you had to just sort of try and shorten the rallies, just come to the net and just try and finish him off. Otherwise, he just keeps digging it back.
Unless you have a huge, huge weapon, and it's so tough to get by him. And he was also having this like left wrist injury, so I wasn't even sure he was going to play that match. So I was picking on his backhand. I made sure not to mess that up. He was just kind of putting his backhand in. So it gave me a lot of opportunity that if I was in trouble to reset points, and then use the opportunity to play long rallies because his legs were there and he was going to try to see if he could wear me out. So he was playing good. I had a lot of break points. I mean, it killed me there. I think I was like 0 for 8 on 0 for 9 on break points, which sucked. I thought there was a lot of opportunities for momentum shifts, and I just couldn't capitalize on them. But I thought I performed
that's the way it goes sometimes, man.
Yeah, towards the end, I was dead. It is so humid in there. The energy, I just got drained after, I don't know, hour.
How'd you play in this heat as well, though? That's what I don't understand. These long matches in this humidity. I don't understand how tennis players do it. How do you acclimatize to it?
In practice, you can do it all day. But then when you just have the pressure on, it's almost like if you can survive 3 hours in practice, that probably translates to like an hour and 40 minutes in a match, because the adrenaline and everything, if you're like a high strung player, it's just going to drain you that much faster, and you can't prepare for that in practice. There's nothing you can do except for put money on the line or something. I don't know, like, here, we're going to play $100 if I miss this ball or something. But you're not going to do that. It's going to piss you off. So
get more.
Could lose a lot of money as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only way you can, I don't know, the only way you can replicate the nerves, but it still doesn't matter.
You never will get able to in practice, for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. So,
is it the same when you come to the UK? Because I was quite surprised when reading up on a few of your statistics, even though you're predominantly, obviously, US hard court is just the main bread and butter. Like, when you're actually your best records on grass, and
and also I want to add to that question as well. Like, do you have a favorite slam? So, do you have one what you prefer playing at?
Love Wimbledon. Love England. Okay. England is awesome. I always say I don't think I could ever live in Europe, but I could live in England. I could live in London. Like, I've always wanted to get a place in London. Dream of mine. Get out there. Like, I love it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, mate. You can come over anytime you want.
The sunny days in Wimbledon Village, dog and fox. I don't even think about a tournament. I love it. That's great. No, I've always had a great record on grass. I feel like it's complemented my game perfectly. I don't think grass is all about who's the best server. I think it's all about the best returners, and that's one of the strengths of my games. And I think it's just helped me so much. I've been comfortable on it. I move well on it. I'm not worried about kind of breaking my ankles or taking too many additional steps out of corners. So I just love that. I play flat. Everything kind of fits in my wheelhouse. And also just being comfortable in London and anywhere in England, like, it just allows me to kind of play my best game.
Is it a bit cooler, like less humidity as well?
It can be. I remember I played on the hottest day of Wimbledon record. I don't know if it still is, but I remember 2015 we did it when I played Sasha Zverev. Yeah. And we were second round. We were both dying.
When you beat Sasha Zverev,
I beat Sasha. Exactly. I mean, he was like 16 in the world, but we won't say that.
You're too humble, man.
I'm cutting that bit out.
He was already destined to be top 10. The numbers lied. So we were both dying in the third set. It was 7-6, and we, I think, both knew whoever won that set was going to win the match because it was just so hot, and the if you're playing long rallies on grass, it's just so much tougher than some of the other surfaces because it's all about just staying low. Your legs are just burning, and you just don't seem to recover. Oh, it's awful. And
we'll have to ask Isna Mahut.
That match was crazy. I watched all of day 2. I was
Oh my God.
I was a junior, and I warmed him up for day 3.
Wow.
So I
saw they literally recently posted it on quarantine. They posted it on YouTube, the whole match. It was something like ridiculous amount of hours, but people were watching it.
I know. I watched that whole second day. I couldn't believe it. Third day, I warmed him up, and then like as a junior, when I warmed up Isner, to that day, I warmed up like 6 pros, and they had all lost.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And I was like, I warmed up Nadal when he lost to Soderling.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
So I was like, wow.
What did you do to him?
I ran. So I was like, what are we gonna do? And when he won, it actually broke my curse. I was like, oh, it was so tight.
What a cool story.
Yeah. But you also beat Cuevas in that same tournament and Giraldo as well. So 3 amazing players in that
and Cuevas, he was down 2 sets, if I remember correct.
Yeah, down 2 sets to love, and I was like, what is going on here? And then I just played awesome. First time I came back from 2 sets to love. It was a great challenge mentally. Geraldo was when Nishikori pulled out, so that was a huge opportunity for both of us to play each other. We were both unbelievable draws for each other to make a 4th round of a slam. So we were both very, very high strung. It was crazy. I remember, I still tell this story all the time. I got my I got a audible obscenity in the right corner on court 17, far corner. I was so stressed out. I said I need a fucking beer because I was so stressed out. So I went out there, and then you see the umpire run. I'm like, what? What's going on here? And then they go audible obscenity, Kudla, warning. And I was like, no. So I used it as an opportunity to like let out all my stress. I actually went up. I didn't know walking up on the umpire's chair is like very heavily frowned upon. So I walked up to him, but I wanted to make sure I did it just so like I wasn't aggressive. I like the microphone we could move. And I was like, you can't give me this point penalty. All I said is I need a fucking beer. And I'm like, that's not that bad. People are laughing. It's not awful. And I know this is a $2,000 fine. I should not be fined $2,000 to be saying I need a fucking beer on a very high stress moment. And he was like, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get fined. You can feel it. And I'm like, no, for sure you guys are going to fine me. It's $2,000. You know how many beers I can buy with $2,000?
Good way to look at it.
You get a barrel, mate.
And I was like, I'll buy you $1,000 of beers. Just stop. Take it back.
So what happened? Did you get fined in the end?
I ended up getting like a provision, like a warning. So they said if I didn't get a warning for 4 slams for a year, or I didn't get a point penalty, I'd get that money back. So they held it for a year. But it was weird. I ended up running into the exact same situation a year later at Wimbledon. And I was like, oh no, am I going to get my $2,000 back and then this fine or not? But I don't remember what happened there.
I think it's just Wimbledon brings it out of you, mate. It's just you just fancy a beer in that UK sun.
Yeah, so strict. And then some of the matches, like, I don't know, they're all just getting hammered, and you're just like, I'm ready to put on a show. Let's go. Get them involved a little bit. Sometimes it can be, I love like the elegance, the classiness of it. I think it's great, but sometimes you just want to spice it up, and they just love it. I love it.
Oh, we absolutely love Wimbledon. It's our favourite one for sure. Like, we're there in the queue. We get up early. We're queuing up. It's just a great time. We're drinking beers early in the morning. It's the only time it's really acceptable to do that.
Everyone's drinking their beers at 6 a.m. Like, okay, well,
exactly. What else are you supposed to do for 5 hours?
It's just an amazing day, man. It's just something which you can't really replicate anywhere else, I feel. We actually are running out of time. We've only got like 5 minutes left on this Zoom call. But we've got a few little questions we really want to ask you, and it's this is just sort of a general one about the tour, really. I just wanted to know, like, who is your favourite player? You mentioned that you like watching tennis. Who is your favourite player to watch on tour? It doesn't have to be one of the top guys. Just someone quite random. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, Federer's obviously the easy one because he was my idol. I like watching. I've always loved watching Nishikori.
Nishikori.
Love watching Schwartzman. I think it's great because I also try to pick things off of them as well, being one of the shorter guys.
Yeah, you like the little guys.
See how they succeed on that, and especially kind of anytime you feel bad for yourself being short, you're like, look at Schwartzman, and he's thriving at that height. And I was like, I really just can't complain. And I really like watching team. I like watching, but not on any surface. I like watching team on clay. I think just how far back he plays and how hard it is to play and commit that far back and hit that hard, not miss. It's just crazy. I don't think you understand how hard that is to play with that height and really leaving the drop shot completely exposed, but it's so hard to hit it. It's just nuts.
It's a very unique style of play he's got, and it's just something which is to the eye, it's just beautiful to see. Like, he plays tennis in a very unique way, which is just so far done very well for him. Like, he's been doing extremely well. It's just like, when's he going to win this slam? That's what we're waiting for now.
Exactly. No, it's definitely he's going to win slams for sure.
It's a matter of time, right?
Yeah, he's going to be the next Roland Garros king, I think.
Quite possible. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. It's been an absolute honor to have you on. Someone who's beaten some of the best players in tennis. Just thank you once again, Denis.
All right, appreciate it, guys.